I'm actually trying to give you a chance to save your voice.
Okay. Yeah. For me, equanimity is allowing everything to be here, like everything's welcome. And apathy would be like, I just don't care about anything. So I'm just not tuned in, not concerned with what's happening. And so that's what that looks like for me. So,
Wow. Apathy kind of implies like we checked out and we really aren't present to what's happening. But I like how you put it, Christy, like equanimity means I'm showing up for it, regardless of what's going on. I'm allowing that this is happening. And with that view, that 30,000 foot view, we can make better choices. Here's a little saying. Equanimity is like the eye of the storm. The winds swirl, but we stay rooted. So, and like Christy has also pointed out, it creates space between the trigger and the reaction. Oh, do you want the quote, Nikki? Is that what you're asking for? Let me type that in there. Equanimity is like the eye of the eye of the storm. The winds swirl, but we stay rooted.
It's a journal prompt right there.
Yeah. So okay, we're talking about equanimity. So how does art help us with this? So thanks. It is beautiful, Nikki. I hope it continues to inspire you. Art helps us to create a expression without needing to fix anything. We can just let it out there, right? And journaling, okay, journaling makes the invisible visible. It takes what's in our hearts without worrying about how to fix it or make it look right, and then it makes it visible. It allows us, yes, mistakes are welcome. Messy is okay. Surprises are welcomed and invited. And all this helps build our equanimity muscle. So when we want to bring mindfulness to this, we notice our breath. We feel our feet on the floor. We invite ourselves to come into our body. And we can do this while we watch the ink or the glue dry. When I got started into art journaling, I told my husband, I literally watch paint dry. This is my new world. I am watching paint dry. I did get one of those little heat guns to help out a little bit, I confess. But I just thought maybe it might be fun if you want. You could do just a little equanimity practice, right? It's a little bit different than what's in the retreat. And I'm going to change my view. There. So this is, I think, what might be in the retreat or something like this. A lot of times when I'm working through a concept, I might do several iterations of it. So that's similar. And then, oh, so you were talking about all the books, the different book bindings. So then I was like, okay, I know I did a Coptic book binding. This is one of them that I did, but I never have done it like with single sheets where I had to glue the edges. Although I have one of those. Night, Belinda. It was wonderful to have you here with us. I hope you get a wonderful night's rest. I do have a glued binding book. Actually, I stitched it and then I'm going to glue it as well in process, but that's a little bigger project. So, so we're just going to use any kind of a spread. And honestly, I thought about, I've got this one that I've made. I think this was out of like a granola bar box. And I just fill it up with kind of random things. You know how you might have extra paint left over and you don't want to waste your paint. So that's what this book often ends up getting, are just ways of extra papers that are I'm just putting in there for fun. But you can see a lot of it is just place. Oh, I was doing a contemplation on lichen because I'm fascinated by the natural world and how it all takes care of each other. Such a model for community. Um, and there I have like this little sketch of lichen on the tree. It's connected, giving and receiving. So yeah, you can just see. So I thought about using this one, but I do think that for today, maybe I'll end up doing this. And I got these new brush markers. These are Sharpie creative markers. And you know how regular Sharpies are not light fast. And over time, they'll fade away. But these are supposed to stay. And they have all these cool colors. And it has that nice little brush tip. So I think I might use that. But you can use anything you want. I don't know why that camera keeps blurring like that. And maybe get 2 or 3 colors. So let's see, I'll do teal and purple. And maybe this. Okay, I got my colors. And if you want to, in a little bit, add some collage items, that's fine. But we're going to draw or paint, however you want, 4 flowing lines across the page. And they each symbolize They each symbolize the pair of the worldly winds, the pleasure and pain. And if you want to embellish those a little bit, I really do take it seriously about not trying to be perfectionist when I do this in my journals. I really want it to be a safe, fun place to play and grow at the same time. So I think I'm just going to add a bunch of lines. I might do this. To be honest, I'm doing this on the fly, just like Christy was with her wallet journals. Just like, this is what I'm exploring. So I'm doing a few of these, and I think I'm going to use, actually, I'm going to do 4 colors. So I have a different color for each pair of the worldly winds. So I'm just making some other lines, and I'm going to let them just look like flow. And just not making it too fussy, just letting your arm feel free. If you feel any tension in your arm, allowing it to relax. Do what feels right when you make those lines. There's no right or wrong way to do this. See where your arm goes with it. They don't have to start at one side and end up at another. Allowing yourself to relax, invite a sense of ease and calm. Congratulations to yourself for being here and allowing yourself to be present. If you want a big white space, that's fine. The white space wants to be filled, and go ahead and fill it. But just make sure that you're releasing any tensions. This is a time of calm and ease. That's what we're inviting in. I mean, if you've got flowing lines on your spread already, that's a win, isn't it? So next, I think I'm going to take a silver pen. I usually use my gold pen, but today I think I'm going to use my silver pen. And then on these lines, let's label one of these lines. Let's call this pleasure. I'll do pleasure at the top. Maybe I'll use black because black's going to show up so much better on this screen. All right, here we go. Pleasure. And then just write ways that pleasure shows up for you all along one of these curves. Pleasure shows up for me when I'm with my family. I have 5 amazing grandchildren. They bring so much joy to my life. And of course, my children, of course, they're good. I needed them to get to the grandchildren, so they were my gateway. Um, and I'm really blessed to have good relationships with all of them. So my family is definitely a source of pleasure for me. Um, I like popcorn. Popcorn, just the smell of popcorn can make me happy. Even if I don't want to eat it, but it's pretty hard to smell popcorn and not want a little bit of it, isn't it? Oh, I love the sunlight through the spring trees. You know, when it's that light green and the sun's on the other side? Beautiful. And all the flowers of spring. Flowers any time of year. I like my satin pillow slip. That gives me pleasure. I think you get the idea. Just continue to write across one of these flowing lines. Those things that bring you pleasure. They can be rich and sound spiritual, like family, right? Or they could be very superfluous, like popcorn. Anything that brings you pleasure. Maybe it's something you've been binge watching on Netflix. Making journals. I mean, and maybe this is you, I don't know, but I know a lot of people, they just love making journals and maybe they don't even do anything in them. They just like making journals. So they have all these journals that are ready to go, but they find the pleasure, maybe their greatest pleasure is making the journals. Ice cold water. So along with the pleasure, we also recognize there's pain. Pain is also a part of life. So feel free along that same line, maybe on the other side of that line. We're just writing those things that we know bring us pain. Mm. Things and pain doesn't have to be like oh, sciatica. Like we're not, I mean, it could be sciatica, right? But it doesn't have to be intense. It could be things that we just don't like that are irritating. It could be the ants in my kitchen, right? It could be all kinds of things that are the opposite of what you would think of as pleasure, and just allowing that this happens in life. I am going to put those ants down because we are always trying to figure out, um, for us, what would be ethical ways to get rid of these ants. It's in the kitchen. I like those little things you can put in outlets that make a frequency that I can't hear, but the ants can. And so they don't want to be in there. Crafting takes my mind off my health issues, waiting on a kidney doctor. And along with my faith in God, provides a calmness in my storms. So beautiful. Our faith is often a deep root to helping us with equanimity. I'm going to put car trouble. Hmm. Tree debris that ends up in my car. Thickness. Yeah. Backaches. And I had family as part of pleasure, but separation from loved ones, that is certainly the inverse of that. Aging. Aging can be difficult sometimes, especially if we're resisting that it happens. We have thistles that like to grow in my yard. Those literally do cause pain, and they're hard to get rid of once they get started. All right, so we see how that just flows, pleasure and pain. So now pick one of the other stripes, one of the other flowing lines that flows through, and maybe this one could be praise and blame. So I'm going to put praise on top and blame on the other. Just continue to fill that in with how that shows up for you. It's very unique to you. Maybe for you could, and nobody needs to see this but you, of course. If you're a little intimidated by writing down in a journal the praise and the blame, we can always cover it up. But we want to get this out. We want to allow that it is showing up. So I think for me, what I'm going to do on the praise, I'm going to write down the things that people have told me that were praise, right? The things they said that were nice to me, made me feel good, like I did a good job on something. Might even start with good job. It could be things that maybe you want to hear. Maybe you wish people would say to praise you. Hmm. It's interesting. Like I'm opening up to things that people have said, but also things that I want to hear people say. And it's helping me understand a little bit more about how my mind works. Like what influences my behavior and my work even. And then of course the blame is a little more, it's harder, isn't it? The why did you do that? Did you forget again? Maybe these are the things that you're afraid to hear. Just allowing that to be out in the open. It reminds me of one time I was just feeling, I just heard all these accusing voices in my head, and it just kept going on for days on end, just all this criticism. So I finally took a journal spread, and I just wrote all the negative things I thought anybody could ever say to me. Maybe there were things that people really had said. Maybe there were things I was afraid they would say. I just, or that I thought they might say. Like, I just wrote it all out. And after I'd done that, I was free. It was like, oh, there it is. Okay, that's done. I can move on. So maybe allowing this flowing line where we're working with blame and shame, just to be a part of that therapeutic component. I'm also noticing as and maybe you are too, as you're writing praise and blame, a lot of them end up with exclamation marks. Like, I'm feeling that emotion. Oh, here's one. You're not good enough. So many of us have that inner critic. So when you're done with praise and blame, let's pick another one of these flowing lines, and put gain and loss. And this is ways that it shows up for you in your life. Um, Times of gain, what did that look like for you? And times of loss. So I'm going to start with gain. With social media, gain might be more people that follow you, right? New followers, new friends. New clothes. Then loss. What does that look like? Ways that shows up for you. I have several friends that are dealing with death right now. They're in grieving periods. This is just a part of what's natural, a part of our experience. And if the lines get all mishy-mashy, then you can do what you want. You can write over the top of other writing lines. It doesn't matter. Or you can just allow space and skip over whatever makes sense to you. Again, we want to think of this really as just a way to work with the reality of the flow of these winds in our life. I put, I mean, a lot of people are losing their temper these days, right? It's something else we can lose. All right. So and then on that final flowing line, we have fame and disrepute. So ways that shows up for you in your life. So how have you felt this and how did you react when these things happened in your life? Sometimes when there's disrepute, when maybe somebody just completely misunderstood you and it just creates confusion. Feels awful. Mm. Feels good to be the hero, does it? Heroine. And then when you feel like there's a sense of completion, you've kind of added all the text that you want to do on it. Feel free to add any other marks, any designs. If you want to cover up something, maybe with gesso, because it's private to you and you don't want others to see it, that's fine. Or maybe you can put some collage imagery on here. I'm going to grab one of my little containers of images. I like the torn look sometimes on some of my images. And I'm so glad you mentioned nori paste. I honestly forgot that I had nori paste. I just haven't used it in so long. And you said that today, and I had to dig it out so that I can use it. Thanks so much. It has a little different smell to it, doesn't it? Just notice as you're working with these, any thoughts or feelings that are arising, um, whether it's like using the words that we've done along with these flowing lines, or whether it's working with the collage images. And I try not to think it through too much. I try to just be responsive. That worked really well. Get a little bit of my gesso. I'm going to mix some craft paint with the gesso and give it a little bit of a tint. That turned out lucky. It's about the same color green as the background there. The gesso adds some opacity, which is nice. Allowing it to flow, and if something feels right, then just go with that. You can make sense out of it later. Just allow yourself to be free. I mean, really, we can't hear that too much because most of life is telling us how we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to show up, right? So we can't hear it too often, to just be free and play. Let yourself show up authentically. I like here how you can see some of the writing come through, but not all of it, so that you get that sense of depth. You can see the swirls underneath, flowing winds of life. Just bringing mindful noticing. How does the brush feel? How do the scissors feel? How does it feel in your hands? I like to bring mindful awareness to where the brush and the paper came from. All that contributed in order for me to even have these materials. Must be bedtime for a lot of people. Let's see, it's going on 6, so 7, 8. Is this a global audience? Or is it mostly your?
Yes.
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 Mm-hmm.
We have people from Europe, people from Australia. I
Wonderful.
don't know how many, what other countries, but I know that Belinda's in Germany.
Wow.
Um, Enat's in Israel. So
Careful.
I'm guessing, yeah, we have a pretty global.
Good work. Good work. This is year 2. Year 2, Christy. Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah, we really enjoy this. This time was a little a little rougher than last time, but I'm glad we did it.
There's just so much going on anymore.
Yeah, there is a lot to be. Let me just say it this way: a lot to need equanimity
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm excited about the Artisan's Pass offer as well.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Did I send you a link for that?
yes, you did, dear.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
Yes. Um,
Everyone's supposed to get one.
so we're doing the kindness coins, and the response I've had in any kind of a workshop or situation where I've introduced those, people just light up and they don't want to stop making them.
Ah,
And there's such a wonderful balance to the fear and angst that's happening in the world right now. There's such a wonderful way of infusing kindness and compassion.
mm.
So super excited about that.
Well, I'm excited to watch because I have not gotten to watch all the videos just yet. I actually don't even have my presentation completely done for tomorrow, so
Oh
I
dear.
have a lot to do. But
Oh, I hope you get a good night's rest, hon.
oh yeah, I will. I usually go to sleep at, go lay down at about 8 o'clock, and then, I don't stay up as late as Monique does. I cannot do it.
So I'm noticing the time, and I just want to invite people that as they finish their spread, maybe consider like which of these 8 wins do you most often feel? And what does balance mean to you in your creative life? It's funny how, like, at the start of the hour, you're thinking, oh my, how am I ever going to talk for a whole hour?
I know.
And then all of a sudden it's like, wait, we've got 3 minutes? Wait.
That's so funny. I know. I always think too that I'm telling everybody things they already know. And it's always interesting, when people say, "Wow, I didn't know that." I'm like, "Really?"
Well, it's so true because we don't know what people know. And when, like we're in it all the time, we know what we know. But also, there's definitely room for, I mean, isn't that why church people go to church? So that you can
Yeah,
preach to the choir, right?
that's
We've heard
true.
it all before, but it just reinforces it when we hear it again and again, like knowing that it's okay to let go of that inner critic. It's okay to just play in your journals. It's okay to let go of that critical mind and just be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't hear it enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I've learned that repetition is my friend,
Ah, yes.
Other perspective is to be looked for. Um, just things that I never knew before, never thought was important are really important.
Thank you, Mary. So, who's up next?
Thanks, Tammy. I'm new to gesso. I have a whole bunch. So do I
Hmm.
just put a little teeny bit in or what?
Oh, so I mean, gesso is just play with it. Just play
Okay.
with it, okay? So you can
Okay.
just use the white, and it creates this kind of opacity. It mixes. If you mix it with a color, it's going to be lighter than the color that you mix it with.
Okay.
Uh, it can make something. It can be completely opaque over something, or like you can see in mine, you can kind of see hints, and you can actually see a little bit more in real life than maybe you can on the screen.
Yeah.
But it makes a nice way of like blending images together, so
Oh,
there's a
nice.
little more cohesiveness,
Cool.
creating softer edges around things, and then when it dries, it's good and toothy, so that you can write on top of it. You can glue and paint more things. it just creates this opportunity for layering. I just love
That's
it.
cool because I bought it last year after I learned about it. Um, I learned about it in at the retreat last year, and so now I'm finally using it.
Well, it gets in your blood. It got in my blood. I should say that. I don't know what happened to your blood. It got in my blood.